I feel like my number one and number two albums on this list are pretty unpopular opinions, but we'll see what you guys think. What's up, YouTube? My name is Jason, and this is my take, and I'm back with another video. And today we're gonna continue our series of from worst to first. And if you're new to the channel, in these videos I select an artist and I rank their solo albums from worst to first. Pretty simple. So today we're gonna be talking about and ranking the albums of an amazing rapper, singer, songwriter, writer, director, producer. The man does it all. And who I am referring to is Donald Glover, aka Childish Gambino. Atlanta living legend as far as I'm concerned. A great musician and even better writer and actor. This show right here, Atlanta, I don't care what any of y'all say, is one of the greatest shows of all time. And season 3 is great, just like the other seasons. I don't care what any of y'all say. But along with his, screenwriting and his film credits, he has a pretty solid, pretty cool catalog in music, I must say. And he has many projects, but I do want to focus on the albums. And really I just did what was on streaming, and that would kind of count as that. So projects like EP or Royalty or Cul-de-sac I didn't include, but those are also very solid projects. That is giving me nostalgia actually thinking about it. So it's only 5 on here, but I did want to get into it, dive into it, especially as, Atlanta is coming to an end and I'm not gonna have any more of that. So it just had me thinking about Donald Glover, and I wanted to do this. So let's hop right into it. So at number 5 on my list is his most recent album, being 3/15/20. Now, first off, shout out to myself because my birthday is March 15th. Shout out to all the Pisces. But this was very much like a surprise album. Like, it was very weird how he rolled this out. Like, he put the album on a website, but like every time you go on the website, like a different song will be playing and the whole thing was out of order. And then he finally put it on streaming. And the album titles were like different timestamps, like within the album, rather than like actual names. And listen, I really thought that there were great songs on here, like 1238 with 21 Savage, like, oh my goodness. And you got 4748, like that was one of the most beautiful tracks on there. I don't remember the timestamp for it on the album, but Feels Like Summer, which was a single, came on here, and that was also an amazing track. But I have this like in last place because like as a whole, like if the album like felt like disjointed, like it was kind of all over the place. A lot of these songs were way longer than they needed to be, and it just like I couldn't really get into it as much as I did the others. Like I still, as a whole, think it's a good album, and I think like maybe another issue is just like the best parts of the album came way later, like towards the end when I was already like, okay, like this is cool. So I just felt like it wasn't top to bottom a very consistent project, but hey, it's not bad. Now coming in at number 4, I believe this is his debut album. Like I said, he has so many projects, I don't know what counts as his debut, but I think this is his debut, and that is 2011's Camp. Now this was like my intro to Donald Glover. Like I went back and listened to the mixtapes and other things like after I listened to this. And I had like already seen his face like on TV and everything. So when I saw this and I listened to it, I was like, oh, mans can really rap. Like he was going in. Like he sounded very inspired. Like he went hard and he was really trying to push a message. But I think that the pushing of that message is like why this is on the lower half of my list, because like listening back to it, like it really was weird. It really was kind of cringe. I could relate to what he was trying to, talk about, that struggle, being a black kid, being picked on, not feeling accepted, those different things. But it was like the whole album, like it felt like it was, I felt like he made his point like early in this album, and maybe we could have went some different ways, but you know, I could tell it was something that meant a lot to him, kind of like Logic with Everybody. It was, you know, hitting us over the head a lot with the message, like we we didn't need this much. You know, it's some weird cringy lines on here that I didn't like really think about initially, like listening to this, because I really like enjoy this project. But like, yeah, it was weird. You know, some mans definitely had an Asian fetish. You know, there were lines like, I think it was like, I got a girl on my arm, dude, show respect, something crazy in Asian, Virginia Tech. Ugh. So like that doesn't that's not the best. Like some of the stuff he was saying was like kind of odd, kind of little like, oh, okay. But as a whole, like I think that the talent like shined on here, like what he could do lyrically with his flows, his singing was good on here as well. Like it's still a good project. It's just like sounds a lot different now listening to it. Number 3 on the list is Kauai, Stone Mountain. Now listen, I don't even know if this officially an album, but I just remember it like kind of coming together when it first happened. And kind of like how Kauai was the one half on the cover, and then Stone Mountain was like if you flipped it, that whole thing. But this came right after because the internet. On the Kauai side, it's like very beachy, like very vibey, wavy, and a lot more singing from Childish on this project. But there's really not much to complain about, to be honest. Like he really brought it. When you think about tracks like Pop Thieves, Sober, The Palisades. Also, shout out to Jaden Smith. I'm not the biggest Jaden Smith fan personally, but I really enjoyed his contributions on here. His spoken word I thought was really cool. And then the Stone Mountain side, it's completely different. It's straight rapping on this side. And Stone Mountain is referring to Atlanta, like area in Atlanta where he was from. And this is like that mixtape type of feel where the artist raps over like all like instrumentals from popular songs. So like he had his own remix to Money Baby, his own version of No Small Talk with Carrie Foe on here. Those songs were great. And you had like Nextel Chirp. You had Let Your Hair Blow with Young Scooter, who, side note, just disappeared. Don't know where that guy went. I enjoy like a double disc that kind of like is different. Like one side is different from the other, and that's definitely the case here. Like think like Big Crit, like Forever Is a Mighty Long Time, like more rappy on the first half, more soulful on the second half. I like that. I like those differences. And this is listening back to this, like it really reminded me how much I enjoyed this like sophomore, junior year in college, listening to this. We're down to our final 2 here, and I don't care. This is what it is for me. All right, so like we can go in the comments and like have a little debate. But number 2 on my list is 2013's Because the Internet. Now let me just get this out the way. This is one of my favorite rap albums ever, period. Like one of my favorites. I think that this is featuring Childish's best rapping by far. I think of his rap projects where he does some singing, like this is his best singing. I mean, like the man turned this whole album, like this is a screenplay, like a man made a whole like written like film like to go along with this album that has like a lot of like layered and like hidden themes that I'm still figuring out. But there's range on here, especially when it comes to the production. You have very upbeat, feel-good songs. You have more like glossy, like pop rap on here. Then you have like those tracks that are just like super like chilling and haunting, like a No Exit or a Zealots of Stockholm. You get like very memorable tracks, like classic tracks on here. Sweatpants, 3005. You got Pink Toes with Janae. Those two are always great together. You had The Last Guys with Chance. And around that time, they were always talking collab album, but they were always a great match together. This is like one of those records. This is one of the best records of last decade, and it's just so memorable what Childish did. Just the versatility on here. You really can't complain too much about this thing. And, you know, given it's like 19 tracks on here, like it doesn't even feel long. Like it flows really nicely. So yeah, like I speak very highly of this album. It's just not number one for me. So obviously that means that at number one, in my opinion, Childish Gambino's best album is 2016's Awaken My Love. This album is nearly flawless. And right off the bat, I say nearly because of the track California, which has grown on me quite a bit, but it's still just like it's still weird for me. Like I'm not fully there. Maybe I've listened to that song so many times because I listened to this album so many times, but that track still hasn't gotten me like just yet. I don't know, maybe it'll take some more. But this is a complete shift for Childish. There's no rapping on here. This is straight up funk, soul, like very much has like a 70s like Parliament, Funkadelic, like Bootsy Collins like type of feel. Like I definitely hear those influences on this record. And Childish just took it to a whole nother level, especially vocally. Like I did not know this was where his range was. Like just like Redbone alone, I heard that song on the radio when it first came out, and I didn't even know it was him. I had to like Shazam, I had to look it up. And I was like, what? Like, no way. You got tracks like Terrified, Baby Boy, like Riot, where it's just like this dude, like I feel like I could have dropped him off in the 70s and like he would have still made a name for himself. And you know, like I mentioned on the Smino, review from yesterday, it's like Smino always keeps you on your toes and you're wondering what he's gonna do next. And I felt that way listening to Awaken My Love. I was like, what is going on? Like everything is hitting me at once and I'm just not expecting it. Amazing production, there's nothing better than live instrumentation, like that band feel. And you definitely get that on here with Childish just going crazy, exploring different themes. Like I enjoyed about like him, talking about being a father and, loving on his child on Baby Boy, to like talking about like police brutality and things like that on Boogeyman. Like this is a layered project as well. And like Childish, man, like this, when he put this out, that's when I knew like he was one of the ones, like when it comes to like that Renaissance type of guy that's in so many different areas, so many different pockets, and like delivers in all areas. Like this was the icing on the cake for me. So yeah, this is his best work. I don't care what anybody says. It still stands true. I went back, I listened to both this and Because the Internet to make sure, and it still is the same for me. But yeah, guys, that was my ranking of Childish Gambino's albums. Let me guys know if you agree with my list. Give me your list. Rank Childish Gambino's albums and let's discuss in the comments. And thank you guys so much for joining me for another week of Jason's Take. Got more videos coming. Please like and subscribe to the channel. I'm Jason. This has been my take, and I'll see you next time.